Most people that I've interviewed, if I ever ask the question, compare the peace before and after your deconversion, most people will say, not all, but most people will say the peace is exponentially greater this side of deconversion.
Oh, I totally agree with that because I know it's real now and what's mythology and what is fake. I was taught to believe, and I struggled with this for years, even today, with this idea that just because someone is a Christian and professes these beautiful things doesn't make them a good person. Far be it from the truth in many cases, right? It's kind of like that's a pass, a calling card. I'm a good person. I'm a Christian. So, part of my book, the narrative arc, is going from belief to realizing the hypocrisy and the hollowness of a lot of these Christians and actually losing my faith. That is my trajectory after experiencing it.
Welcome and thank you for being here. You know what I find so interesting? How people would base their decision for their eternity. Because whether or not you acknowledge that you have a soul, whether or not you acknowledge that there is a life to come, it is still there. It's not waiting for you to acknowledge it into existence. So, how is it that people can base the decision for such, how could you base the decision for something that is so important? Because eternity does not end. Eternity does not end. So that in itself makes it the most important thing. But you can base the decision for your eternity on the reaction of someone, how someone, what someone did to you, how someone made you feel. Someone's reaction will determine that. You base your decision on that, a bad experience or a bad minister or bad doctrine. And there's a lot of bad doctrine out here, for sure, no doubt. But you would base your decision for your eternity on that. It's so funny that we don't base decisions for things that we deem important on one or two or even three or a few bad experiences. Because we don't decide, well, you know what, there's so many car crashes, I'm never going to drive my car again. There's been so many plane crashes, I'm never going to fly in an aircraft again. We don't ever do those things. But for some reason, it's okay when it comes to your soul to make a decision that rings into eternity for something that happened, a few bad experiences here and there. It's okay. I don't know, make it make sense.
So in graduate school, I was going to journalism school. Somebody gave me Carl Sagan's
Yep.
Cosmos,
Okay.
which I was not allowed to watch, of course, when it came out in, was it 1981 or whatever?
Yeah, something like that.
Which it explains evolution, right? How the planets, how everything is here. Of course, it was very dangerous for Christians to watch. But somebody gave me the entire series on VHS tapes, and it was like 20 VHS tapes. And it was so overwhelming to watch that. There was so much information, and it was so mind blowing. And it was the first time I'd had actually learned about evolution, in my mid 20s, that I could only watch about 20, 40 minutes of it, and I would start falling asleep. It was like mental overload.
Hmm.
And then I was just like so angry. I'm like, but of course, this is logic. This is science. This is provable. And it made me angrier that I had been kept in ignorance for so long.
And of course, we can never get away from this claim that evolution is the truth and the Bible is the lie. Creation is the lie and evolution is the truth. Are we even aware? The same one who fed you the lie of evolution, did he also tell you about the other kingdoms and the other worlds that do exist. There are other worlds that do exist. The same one who deceived you into believing that you evolved. You went from this to that to the next. You evolved. I wonder if he was successful also. Did he also tell you about his kingdoms that exist in the ocean and the air? Do you know about these other kingdoms where there are plots to bring your soul to the pits of hell? Do you know about the pits of hell? Did he tell you about that one too? I know it's in the Bible, so maybe for you it's not real because it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible, so it might not be true. But everything that's out of the Bible, regardless of who said it, regardless of the amount of proof there is for it, for evolution there is none. For evolution there is none. There is no evidence of a change of kind. There is none. But you believe that. Exchanging the truth for lies. That's a very, very serious thing. And there's a very high price attached to that. Extremely high price.
I have two big sisters whom I love dearly, and they're both conservative Christians. Actually, one converted to Catholicism, and it was basically on the outs with my parents for a long time because of that. It's ridiculous, right? It's like, come on, it's the same Holy Trinity. Yeah, we don't have the Virgin Mary and all that, but whatever, same sky God. But I just see like every day what pain and destruction that religion causes in the world. I mean, look what's happening in the Middle East right now. The root of all that conflict. If we could just get over religion and just see one another as humans with the same fears and needs and desires. I mean, wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yes, you are right. Religion is very destructive. So I am so grateful that Jesus Christ did not come to this earth to bring yet another religion.
I remember being told when you ask questions constantly, like, our minds are too finite to understand God's infinite wisdom, right? Which discourages and kills intellectual curiosity. Basically, if you don't understand it, you never will. Don't bother asking, right?
Yeah.
And that horrible Sunday school song that they used to make us sing. I don't know if you sang it when you were a kid. Trust and obey. Do you remember that
Oh yeah.
one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. And that was always the message. Like, trust and obey. Don't ask questions. Right?
Yep.
So there was that. There was a sense of like you're too ignorant and too stupid to understand, and God has never explained any of this stuff, and he never will. And there's no way he can.
It seems like there was almost a mysterious magical side of it too. Like if you can stop begging God for answers and start admitting that he's got it under control. And I use that motif of like a tapestry where like there's all these loose threads, they don't look like anything. I just understand in heaven, maybe before, but in heaven for sure, he'll flip it and you'll see this beautiful artwork that he's done with these threads. But it was almost like a badge of honor if you could say, stop asking God for the answers now. It's like trust and obey, but also almost this message of like, just rest. He's got it. And it was never, and when you mix that with the whole poisoning of the well of all these horrible evolutionists and atheists, they're so bad, you can't even explore the ideas. It's just, if you don't rest, you're not getting the picture. God doesn't want to give you answers. He wants you to trust him like a little child would their parent. Trust me, I'll take care of you. And it kills your ability to think for yourself.
I agree. I agree. I mean, it's funny because I feel like that harms a lot of people. That type of critical thinking that isn't allowed in a lot of conservative Christian groups, it hurts you in life. When you're out there in the world, in the job market, or you need to write an essay or something, you need those critical thinking skills. And I feel like sometimes, I'm trained just to like you hit a brick wall, like, okay, I don't understand it. My brain's going to start backing away now instead of instead of knocking down that wall and seeing
So
what's
the
on
Bible
the
does
other
not allow
side.
critical thinking. I don't know where that thought pattern comes in, because I the Bible tells us, God in himself, he says, let us reason together. Let us talk. Let us reason together. Let us think. There was a certain incident that happened on this earth a few short years ago. It's in the rearview mirror of history right now. It's not so far behind. You can still see it in the rearview mirror. It's not so far. Where people were forced to do certain things and to take certain things. And anyone who dared question it you were silenced, you were cancelled, you were debunked, you were demonized, your platform was taken from you or shut down. Does God do that to us? When we try to ask questions, does God silence us and put us in a box? But here you are, where people who were qualified in their fields, if they dared to speak up and ask a question, they were silenced. How about that? That is exactly where this world is heading, because there is one coming called the Antichrist. And if you think this world has seen sorrows, everything that has happened so far, it's like peaches and candies in comparison to what is yet to come. You accuse God of not allowing you to have critical thinking. The man who is coming will not allow anybody to think. Do as he says or die. Then you will understand how merciful the Most High God is, and that he's not the one who takes away your ability to think critically. He's not going to shut you down and cancel you. Like what is up ahead, that is what's going to happen to, well, everyone on the earth. What's up ahead, what is about to happen to everyone on this earth, that's where you will see that's when you will need your critical thinking skills. And I hope that you will have it at that time. I hope that everyone will have critical thinking. Because if you push the Bible aside, because that's the one that's preventing you from critical thinking, then when that time comes, all of your critical thinking is supposed to be available to you, right? All of your critical thinking is supposed to be there waiting for you, because the one that blocked your critical thinking, you managed to push that aside. So now you have all of your critical thinking left. I hope you can use it wisely when that time comes, because it's coming. No man can make God a liar. It doesn't matter what you say, what you think you know, what you think you've learned. You will not make the Most High a liar. What he says will happen.
It was God was for me, it was never like a loving, happy God. It was like another domineering, abusive father. Like you're doing it wrong.
People have this fake impression about God. I don't know. It's like so many people have grown up with this really awful impression about who God is. And I truly believe that has prevented them from having a relationship with him. Because if you see someone as someone that you have to be afraid of, and you have to always be on your, oh my God, is he going to strike me down? Is he going to kill me? God is love. God is love. And to have such a warped understanding, a warped way of thinking about who he is, it's really, really sad, because now you don't want to get to know him. You don't want to have a relationship with him, because as far as you're concerned, he's a big bad wolf, and he's the one to be avoided, because he's wicked and he's evil and he does wicked things. And you never build a true relationship with him besides what maybe someone taught you, someone told you. But you for yourself, you've never had a relationship with him. You never spoken to him. You never asked him to be your friend and to show you who he is. So you are experiencing him through the lens of what someone else sees of him that's projected onto you without having any genuine relationship with him yourself. Of course, in that way, he will be whatever someone else says he is. But to you, you don't even know because you never knew him. Because you never knew him and you never took the time to find out who he is. It's truly sad.
Most people that I've interviewed, if I ever ask the question, compare the peace before and after your deconversion, most people will say, not all, but most people will say the peace is exponentially greater this side of deconversion.
Oh, I totally agree with that because I know it's real now and what's mythology and what is fake.
Hmm.
Fake news. The Bible is fake news.
Exactly.
Fake news, the Bible. You will pay very dearly for those words. Those words there, calling God a liar, that is serious. Because Satan is the father of lies. You don't equate God to Satan. You don't. You don't ever do that. His word, he puts above everything. His word. So to call his word fake news, to call him a liar, is a very serious accusation to the Most High God. And if you die without being forgiven of that sin, or all of your sins, as a matter of fact, if you die with your sins as a big stain on you, and you show up in his presence, it will not be well with your soul. I can guarantee you this. It will not be well with your soul. I make these videos so that I can warn souls. I can warn souls. Time is so short. People are dying in vast numbers every day. And in vast numbers, people are heading to a place that they thought never existed. People are heading to a place that they thought was mythology. It's not supposed to be real. It's not supposed to be true. But yet you're heading there. You're heading there because your life has now come to an end. And you spent your whole life telling Yahweh that he could not be true, that he could not be real. He's fictitious, he's unreal. And if he is real, he's not loving, he's wicked. How the enemy of our souls deceives us. Deceives us. The reason I paired these videos with the videos of someone who's coming from the kingdom of darkness is so that you can see for yourself that this is a real battle. A real battle. This is not a joke. This is a real battle for your soul, and the devil knows exactly how to deceive human beings. All your books, all your knowledge, none of it is going to take you up and out of the pits of hell. Only the blood of Jesus Christ. Only the sacrifice that was made on the cross for your soul will take you out of the pit of hell. But he can't be the sacrifice and then make the choice for you as well. God leaves our free will to us. He gives us that choice to choose him. But for those who don't want to choose him, there is no other alternative for you when you get to the end of your days. And rest assured, there will be an end to your days. So be very, very certain of your decision while you're here on this earth, breathing in this dirt. Because when you get out of this body and reality hits you, you cannot come back and change your mind. This is the time to change your mind. Don't be deceived by the devil. The devil already knows what's up. He knows. He used to live in heaven. He used to be in the presence of the Most High God with many others that will perish with him. He doesn't want to see a single soul saved. He does not want to see a single soul saved. But Jesus Christ, he came, he's the way, the truth, and the life. He came to set the captives free. He came that you will have life and life more abundantly. But he will not, and he cannot make that choice for you. You can either listen to the voices of people who are perishing, or you can listen to the voice of someone who's warning you. You can listen to the voice of someone who's telling you that this is going to happen. Jesus Christ is real, and the devil knows he's real. Listen to Erica's testimony. She's not the only one who experienced Satan and hell. She's not the only one who worked directly with Satan. She's not. There are many. God is so merciful that he's allowing us to hear these testimonies in real time. But you still want to turn your back and say that he's a myth, he's Greek mythology, he's not true. And you will pay the ever so dear price that is associated with such level of thinking. I am pleading with souls to choose life. Jesus is crying out to you to choose life. Choose life. Thank you for being here. Until next time.